Welcome. We are so excited you're here. All right. Hands up. When I count to 3, I want you to reach for your nearest mobile device and hold it in the air as fast as you can. I haven't gotten a 1 yet, people. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, we're waiting. 5. 4.5 seconds. Y'all can put them down. 4.5 seconds. It took for dozens of people to put your hands on your devices. And I would bet that any given time of day or night, you're no further than 30 seconds away from that device. Is that true? Ponder this. There's a little controversy about whether this is 100% true, but I read it on the internet, so must be. Common thought says that the devices that are within 30 seconds of your person any time of day and night are more powerful than the technology we use to put a man on the moon. So as we talk today, and I've got 3 sessions today, 3 sessions this week. I hope you come to all of them. As we talk today about all the technology that you have at your fingertips, understand that you have more power in your pants. Now, the other classrooms wouldn't have laughed at that. Y'all are better. More power in your pants pockets than has ever existed in the history of the world for consumers. All right. Now that we have everything here. So I don't know if y'all know this, but this is a really special format that they had us do. And if you're ever interested in knowing how nerdy this is, come and talk to me. But it's one projector, and it's so cool. Anyway, all right. So group of 4 or 5. So look around. We kept trying to form groups, and then the groups changed. No more than 5 in your group. No less than 3. All right. We got good groups. Where's the smartest group? All right, I just want to see where it is. Okay. In your group, find out who has the oldest phone. Who has the oldest phone in your group? Oh, who needs somebody who's got a 4 or a 3? Everybody's got a 5? Okay, you can be a bonus person for somewhere. You can be a bonus person for them. All right. Everybody got a person who has the oldest phone in your group? If not, just fake it and point at someone. Okay. That person is the card master. You are the card master. So pick up your cards, and who needs one? We are welcoming you with open arms. Why don't you come over here? Instead of being with all your purple people, they are great, but those people are smarter. There we go. They're like, who? What? Okay, card masters. Here's how this works. This game show doesn't involve a lot of, no up and down or anything, but y'all are all I'm going to ask a series of questions about research, about productivity and things like that. You guys are going to vote about the right answer. When people in your group get the right answer, they get a card. And these cards are yours to keep. These are quick reference guides to some of my favorite apps. Now, at the end, card masters, you are going to count up how many overall cards your group has. Okay? Count up how many overall cards your group has. Now, any group have 6 people? Y'all have 6 people? You have 7? Everybody's cheating. Okay, so why don't we take 2 of the 7 and 1 of the 6 and make a mighty group of 3. Y'all have 6?
They have 6 back there.
Okay, y'all just cheat. It's fine. So card masters, you're going to count how many cards the group has, and then give a count, and the group with the most number of cards, see, y'all letting them cheat, but you're going to lose. The group with the most number of cards at the end all get a copy of my book. Okay? All right. Yeah, all right. Can we have that? So if you have 6 in your group, reject somebody. And if you have 7 in your group, reject 2 bodies, and we'll have them come up here. I know you guys all bonded already. Too bad. That'll make it more fair. Oh, look, and here's your 5th. Hi, come see. You're joining this group right here. Come see.
We're on the same team.
Yes, so now y'all are 5? Okay, so now we have 5 for this group. Perfect. So y'all are right here. I have positive energy from this group. Who's the card master? Just claim somebody. You can be the card master. All right, now we're even. If anybody else comes in, they can't stay. We have it worked out. All right, first question. After an interruption, how long to get back on track? So there are a lot of studies like this, but one of the most iconic was by Gloria Mark. She did several, Dr. Gloria Mark, and what she did was she had Microsoft managers. She gave them a task, and then she interrupted them. A small interruption, a phone call, an email, just a little quick interruption. On average, how long did it take for the Microsoft managers to get back to the point in the task where they were interrupted? Psychologically. Okay, ready? Is it 3, 23, 53, or 103 minutes? Uh-oh, we have controversy. Where's she coming? Y'all claim her, whoever. Who says 3 minutes? Raise your hand if you say 3 minutes. 23 minutes. 53 minutes and 103 minutes. Card masters, give a card to everyone who answered 23 minutes. 23 minutes. Now, just to clarify, the reason the card masters, I gave the cards to the person who has the oldest phone, they're the most honest. So just know that you are the most honest person in your group, and you're not going to cheat. 23 minutes to get back on track. Isn't that insane? And with the practices you guys have, you know that that's like every 5 minutes. So at the end of the day, you owe time to the universe because you are so far behind. I'm going to give you a couple of tools that'll help you stay focused and get back on track. And again, I want to tell you this afternoon at 4:15, I'm doing another session in a canal room. And this room, if you are overwhelmed with all the information you're getting, please come to that session. It's going to teach you techniques for how to get stuff done, number 1. And number 2, it's going to give you some clear thinking times, a facilitated white space to actually get something done during the session. So if you're overwhelmed, if you've got too many notes, if you've got something hanging over your head, please come to that because that's what it's created for. It's a totally different session. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of tools that'll help. The first one is called YVA. They pronounce it Eva. I don't think it looks like Eva, but they didn't ask me. Eva. Now, I have good news and bad news about that one. I'll tell you in just a second. By the way, you get all these PowerPoints, so you can take pictures if you want to, but you don't have to take all of them. So here's what it does. It uses artificial intelligence to creep you out and help you. Have you ever gotten an email that looks like this? It's this big. In there are 97 things you don't need to know and one line right in the middle of something you have to do. You are busy. It takes at least 11 seconds per email to read it. And if it's much longer, it's going to waste your time. So you end up not catching everything. Eva goes into the emails, reads them, finds the tasks, pulls them out, puts them on a list, puts a deadline on them, and sends them back to you in another email. Hashtag helpful, but creepy. Now, I have good news and bad news about this one. The bad news is, it also puts a link to actually the piece and part it says is the task. So this one was very long email. We're getting ready to submit our hotel rooming list. When are you arriving and departing? This was for another engagement I had. It actually put a link on that one line so that it knew that's what it focused on, took out the top, took out the bottom, and just let me focus on the one task. Here is the bad news. EVA no longer exists in this format. So what EVA lets you do, or EVA doesn't exist by itself anymore, but here is the good news. The good news is that they've morphed it, and they're going to bring it back in its consumer form, but they've morphed it into something that's beyond belief. How many of you have trouble with retention? Yeah. Not personal retention. Office retention. Oh, honey, that's awesome. She's like, I'm over 50. Of course I have trouble with retention. She meant like brain retention. You get the first nerdy rubber duck of the day for that wonderful, wonderful answer. So what EVA lets you do is that it reads the emails of all the employees, which if you have email hooked through a business, it's being read, know that. And number two, it sends a little quiz, a little survey to every employee every time. Once a month. And then EVA says that with an 86% accuracy rate, it can tell you when an employee is going to quit 6 to 12 months before they hand in their resignation, using artificial intelligence. Hashtag helpful, but creepy. Exactly. Now, IBM just came out with the same thing, they said, and I don't know if they're using this company's tools, because this company is now doing enterprise things. So IBM just came out with it too, and they said theirs is 93%, so they may be improving. But I had an interview with this guy, the head of EVA, and he said he's getting enterprise, and he's going to do smaller versions that smaller offices and smaller practices can do on their own, rather than having the big enterprise version. And the EVA tool is coming back in terms of the other things. So it's coming back, but it's not here right now. Now, if that's too much for you, you can use a regular old, really good task management tool. How do you guys keep track of tasks?
I do an opportunities list.
An opportunities list? Where do you keep it? Notebook, pen and paper?
I keep it in my Excel, one of my.
An Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Post-it notes, perfect. Pen and paper, Outlook, Gmail, that kind of thing. Anybody using an app specifically for this, besides this one? Use that one? Trello? Todoist, you use Asana? And then everybody stopped using it and everybody got mad? Yeah, and then it was out. So we're going to talk about those. I don't think I put them in here because we have just an hour and I have some other things we're going to be doing, but I'll talk about them right now. Todoist is a personal task management tool that does what you think a task management tool would do, right? You have a list, you have sub-lists, you can assign tasks to other people. With some plugins, you can actually, most of my to-dos come in with email. So instead of rewriting the email, I can just assign it straight into Todoist. It has a robust free version, and then it has a paid version. And what my manager, who's the most organized person I ever met in my life, she cannot live without it. And what she loves most about it is it shows you just what's going on right there. Because sometimes if you make a list of everything you have to do, you almost throw up, right? You're just like, I can't possibly, and then you end up eating cupcakes or something. Y'all are healthy, work in medical, whatever. Eat kale cupcakes, I don't care. But Todoist has a robust free version, and then it's really good. Now, let's talk for a second about Trello and Asana. ASANA and TRELLO. Y'all also have a quick reference guide in the link I'm going to give you, your super secret link. So you'll have more of these, and both of those are on there. So Trello and Asana are project management tools, and they go beyond just your personal task management. Project management, as in a lot of marketing teams will use these. This is, we're not talking HIPAA compliance here, but we're talking non-patient related tasks that are happening in your practices. So how do you use Trello?
Actually, a couple different ways. I can split it up based on my team members. I can kind of break up the tasks under each of their names. I've got departmental IT facilities as well, track it from that perspective. And so more or less just use the card for tasks. I don't use it to the full extent that I think it's designed.
Well, nobody uses any of these things because then we would be just nerds all the time. So what Trello looks like is a bulletin board. And on it are individual cards. And these cards can be stacked and changed according to and organized the way you think they should be organized. So you've got them by team member. Other people have them by like in process, due, and that kind of thing, and just reorganize them by that. However you want to, and you can use it for a personal tool or a bigger tool for the team. And the transparency goes through the roof. How many of you use what I call the spreadsheet and smile technique for project management? So you alone have things that you have to do, and you've got all these people who need to do things for you, and you're keeping track of them on a spreadsheet, and then you write those emails and say, hey, have you done those things I asked you? Question mark, smiley face. Because somebody's breathing down your neck to get these things done, and you don't want to throw other people under the bus, but they're the ones holding up the bus. And so with things like Asana and Trello, the transparency goes through the roof because everybody can see the things, whoever you want to can see the whole dashboard and the things that are holding it up. So when your boss comes and she's like, why isn't this done? You're like, well, we have a couple of holdups. Let's look at the dashboard. Oh, it's you. You're the one who hasn't done what you're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, this project would be finished. So, yeah. So Todoist, Trello, they all kind of fall in the same category. All right. This is an important question for all of us. Paychex did a 2017 study that asked people to rate their level of stress at work. What percentage of workers report level 4 stress or higher? Level 4 stress or higher, with 1 being very mellow, like Rocky Mountain High, if you know what I mean, in Colorado, and 5 being New York City at rush hour stressed out. Is it a third, 2/3, or all of them? Level 4 stress or higher. Who says a third? 2/3. All of them. All right, guys, I hate to tell you, card masters, I don't think anybody got the answer. A third report level 4 stress or higher. A third of the people in your office are reporting a level 4 stress or higher. Do you know how impossible it is for your people to be productive at a level 4 stress or higher? It's just not good. They can't function. If you are a level 4, you cannot function. You're not being a good employee. And you're like, that's stressing me out. I know. 2/3 of people said they were level 3 stress or higher. That is not functioning well in an office. So here are a few tools that we like for this category. Anybody using Calm or Headspace? Look how calm she is. She's got that peace about her. So which one do you use? Headspace. And tell us about your use of it and how it helps you.
So actually one of the physicians in the practice recommended it for me.
Level 4 stress or higher.
And so you can work on different areas. It basically just gives you you set 5 minutes aside and do some meditation or just think about things. Andy's on Headspace. He has a very nice, calm voice, and he just kind of walks you through just to sit back and relax. And you can do it there's different parts in the app, if you need help going to sleep or if you're really stressed. There's different functions you can choose from. And I think it's really good. It takes 5
And you probably pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she needed the higher version. But you pay for it. So there's a kind of a very basic one that is free, but in order to get to the kind of higher levels and the deeper work, you can do the other one. Calm is another one. These are the top. Now, Headspace actually just released an Alexa skill so that you can be at home and do it through your Alexa device if you're using that and help you with that stress management. And we're not kidding about this, right? It changes you from a non-functional professional to a functional professional, and you are responsible for that, and you are responsible, just like your person reached out to you, for helping other people. We're all very saddened when it's just devastating when people like Anthony Bourdain or Kate Spade or Robin Williams commit suicide. But that brings these issues to the forefront and they say, we are dealing with things and we need help. Yes?
How does that work in an environment? Is this for workers? You take them off the floor? Do you see that they're stressed and you give them a few minutes in a private room? I mean, what's the workflow on doing that behind the scenes?
How do you do it?
I just use it for my personal self. I have done, like, shut my office door and just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna talk to Andy right now. Take my 5 minutes just to kind of calm my, you take yourself away from everything, and then it's kind of like a refresher, if you will.
But I mean, so nobody's.
But I don't use it with my team, no.
I think it's like a employee assistance type program. I'm HR, so I would recommend it to somebody that might be having those.
To do it on their own time or during work environment? I mean, what?
It probably depends on where they are and how bad this is affecting work. If you want to say to somebody, hey, we want to help you. We want to help you, give you this time. So I would like you to take 15 minutes a day. I'd like to provide you with these tools and let you kind of sink into the day or help you with some of these stress levels because we want you to be a functioning member of the staff.
I think before you get to that, just like what you're saying, catching the front office person who may have had a terrible, mean, angry patient interaction and just showing them that you care is the first step.
That compassion.
Pulling them away from the desk for a few minutes before you even get to calm and headspace.
Yeah, so this could be like overall this person is not dealing well with stress and this is just a stressful job, and that could be just a compassionate moment to help them diffuse whatever's happening. So it's in combination.
Time together.
And this could be your personal thing. How many of you feel stressed, at least a 3 or higher at work? I'm at a 5 right now. Just joking. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple of other things I find help with stress because this is something on the go that can really stress me out. Office Lens is a scanning tool. How many of you have a scanning app on your phone that lets you scan documents? Okay, several of you. What do you have? That one? There's Genius Scan, Turbo Scan, Tiny Scanner, all these different ones, and they all basically do the same thing. When you take a picture of a piece of paper, nowadays both Google and both Android and Apple are trying to get better at this, but pretty much it looks like a picture of a piece of paper. But if you use a scanning app, it'll find the edges, take out the humpy bumps and the shadows, make it look like you walked it over and scanned it. So you can mark up a brochure for the practice or what have you, and just scan it really quickly rather than going to a scanner or trying to write everything out. Office Lens takes it one step further. So just like the others, you can pretty much then put on a virtual staple with a PDF and send it off right from your phone. But Office Lens adds this functionality if you have a subscription to Microsoft Office 365 somewhere in your world. You take a picture of a piece of paper in front of you, and within 2 or 3 clicks, you can take your finger, put it on the screen on your phone in Microsoft Word, and start typing. It turns that document into a did your life just change? A formatted document in seconds that you can edit. It uses optical character recognition, OCR, to put everything together. Like I said, Google Lens and Google Photos are both making advancement in this area, and iPhone is making some advancement, but none of them have that OCR. Google Lens, and you can download this for Apple or Android. Google Lens will let you take a picture of something and grab the text off it in seconds. Take a picture of something, grab the business card information off it. Take a picture of something, grab a part of an article off of it, rather than retyping it. For gosh sakes, that's 11 seconds you're never going to get back. All right, what else do I have? The next one, I know that sometimes it's 4:45 in the afternoon. No, who am I kidding? 7:45 in the evening, you're ready to go, and you've got 4 more phone calls to make. And Lord help you, if any of those people answer the phone, there goes your entire evening. You're not going to get to Game of Thrones in time at all. So this next tool is a stress reliever for all of us. It's called Slide Dial. It calls straight to voicemail on mobile phones. Everybody's life just changed. Go ahead, jot down your ex's name so that your Aunt Kathy, it goes straight to voicemail rather than going to the person. And the next day the person will call back and say, gosh, I was sitting right here. I don't know why. And you're like, dang technology. I still don't have time to talk to you. All right, this is crazy. A study by Adobe Consumer Email, or Adobe Consumer, it was an email survey. They asked workers to report how much they work in email every day. Workers were reporting checking email 3.1 hours a day for work and 2.9 hours a day for personal. Y'all, get a life. Me, get a life. And then Adobe said, all right, in the past month, and they gave them a long list, where have you checked work email outside of work? Which of the following that I've picked out have been the most often checked? Well. Oh. Yeah, whatever. All right. In bed, in the bathroom, while working out, or while driving? Which has been the most often? Okay, who says A, in bed? In the bathroom? Working out? And while driving? All right. Card masters, A, in bed. Think about how crazy this is. You guys work in medical practices. In bed before you go to sleep or before you get up in the morning, you grab your phone and check what is happening in the office. Sad. But it's sad for all of us. Look at this list. Look at this list. Situations where work email has been checked. 41% of the people said at least once in the past month they've checked it in bed. Or while watching TV. While in bed, 31%. While on the phone, while in the bathroom, there it is. 28% of you are in the bathroom checking work email. While walking, while commuting, during a meal with others, on a face-to-face conversation. I love this one. While at a formal ceremony. Church. That's nice. 25, that's awesome. 25% of you said, I haven't done it, and you're lying. Right? We're crazy like this. All right, I'm going to give away a copy of my book to the person with the most unread emails on your phone. Pull out your phone. Who's got the most unread emails? What's my first bid? Just give me a number, whatever the largest number is on there, whatever you want to say. How many? 42. You are not in the game. How many? 11,241. She's still proud. 26,000. Do I have 37,000 emails? Unread emails. Do I hear 50? Going once, going twice. 37,000. And look how proud she is. Casey, let's consider this less of a prize and more of a study manual. There you go. 37,000 emails. But let me tell you something about Casey that I know. I don't know Casey, but I know this about Casey. Casey doesn't have 37,000 patients who are waiting to hear from her. Casey doesn't have 37,000 friends who are dying to go out to dinner with her. Casey has 37,000 emails she cares so little about that she doesn't even bother looking at them or deleting them. That's a problem. Not just for Casey. All right, here is what's happening with artificial intelligence.
Your inbox is probably overwhelming. Let's be honest, most of us don't enjoy dealing with it. That's why we built Astro, to help separate the signal from the inbox noise. Astro's email apps are full of features, like snooze, open tracking, and send later. But we didn't stop there. To end inbox overload, we brought artificial intelligence to email. Meet Astrobot, your new AI-powered assistant. Within seconds, Astrobot helps you clean your inbox and stay on top of things throughout the day. Plus, Astrobot is learning new skills and moving to new places. Now it can help you conquer your email in Slack. And this is just the beginning. We're on a mission to help you focus on what's most important. 3, 2, 1. Your inbox just got smarter.
Yes.
So let's say you're in a situation where you're copied on an email, a group of like 6 people, right? And then it's constantly, people are going back and forth, but then, one person down the line replies all, but not to the latest thread, but to something that was earlier. So if you really want to get a full picture of everything, is there one app or one of these things that will help?
Just shoot those people. It's not you. It's those people. So I'm gonna talk about something that people use for that. First, let me talk about Astro. So Astro is using artificial intelligence to read emails, understand what they're saying, understand your whole inbox, and help you. I used it for about 9 months, and I adored it. I would log on, and it would say, hey, even before I was proactive and said zap and asked it to look through, it would say something like, hey, I see you're getting Twitter notifications. You don't seem to be reading them. Do you want to auto-archive them? And I'm like, that's brilliant. Boom, all my Twitter for notifications that I never even opened are archived. I don't even have to see them. But then it got a little judgy, this whole artificial intelligence thing, and it said, hey, you haven't opened up your Weight Watchers newsletter in forever. Do you want to unsubscribe? And I'm like, no, I'm committed to the program. Thanks for asking. Down 0.02 in the last 14 years. Kind of. So Astro was doing that. Now, again, bad news. Astro was sucked up by Slack, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about in just a second. I'll talk to you about it now. So Slack, in its most basic format, anybody using it? All right, nobody, good. Slack in its most basic format is a chat tool that lets you take those emails out of your inbox. So you had a situation where you've got an important thread that sometimes you're copied, sometimes you're not, but you're losing some of that communication and you've got to be in there. But it's also for the ridiculous threads. So you write to everybody on the team, and you say, hey guys, I brought brownies to thank you for being here. And I put them in the break room. And somebody wrote back, well, I just started keto, and you better get them out of the break room because I have no willpower and it's your responsibility. And somebody else wrote back and said, well, there better not be peanuts in there. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I am allergic to peanuts. And then somebody else replies back, of course we know you're allergic to peanuts. You say you're allergic to peanuts every time we have anything anywhere, and you walk into the building every day saying I'm allergic to peanuts. And somebody else writes back and says, well, walnuts are good. Did you put walnuts in them? Are they blonde? And 14 emails later, you write back and you say, hey guys, I went into the break room, I ate all the brownies, and I'm going home to listen to Headspace. Because this is ridiculous. It's a waste of your time. So what Slack does is it gets that communication off. Now, Slack has some other tools, Yammer, or some competitors, Yammer, Google Chat. There are several that are like this, but it takes that communication off and then instead it puts it in a small little silo where you can communicate very quickly with a bunch of people. So in that case, if you're using Slack, then that important conversation everybody can see in Slack rather than having it in email, and you're losing the conversation. Not everybody's archiving it the right way, and not everybody's commenting to the right things because they don't have all the right information. Slack has become very popular, and so some of you can use it in your marketing areas, but it's not necessarily HIPAA compliant. But Outlook loved Slack so much, and Facebook, that they have both created competitors. So the good news is that this capability with Astro is being sucked into Slack, which means that sometime or another, it'll be sucked back into Outlook. So you are going to get this kind of functionality where it gets everything together. All right. I can tell some of you are a little worried about some of the technology. You're like, we're never going to be able to use this. Nobody will ever let us have this. Or you're just concerned about what people would say if you tried some of these things. So I do have a disclaimer. This session may make your IT department mad, right? This session may make people uncomfortable. They're like, is it HIPAA compliant? Is it IT compliant? Before you try any of these things, go and check with the people who make these decisions for you, whether it be your IT department or, I don't know, your 12-year-old daughter, whoever says, hey, let's watch what you put on your phone so we can make sure this works for everybody and make sure we're in compliance. I could have just told you that, but instead I chose to sing it because this is one of my favorite tools. It's called Ditty. And Ditty, you put in a sentence and pick a song and it sings it for you. It's good for those very important notes that you want everybody to read and they just don't seem to be getting the message, like this one. Yep, these are essential. Now, getting back to the problem.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
You've got mail.
You've got mail.
You've got mail.
One of the problems that we have with mail is that we're going to go to this wonderful conference. We're going to go to these wonderful booths. They're going to have wonderful giveaways and wonderful ideas. We're going to give them our information, and we're going to hear from them for 20 years. Not that we hate them, but we end up with 37,000 emails, some from vendors, some from people we want to hear from, but not necessarily all the time. So I'm going to give you two ideas, emailondeck.com and burner.io. Both of these are fake email addresses that give you a temporary or spoofed email address that can hook up with your other emails. So that, let's say somebody writes to you and says, I've got the top 10 ways to retain employees at your practice. And you're like, I need those top 10 ways. They say, give us your email and we'll send it to you. You can go to Email on Deck and within seconds have an email address that has an inbox online. So you put that in there, you go to the inbox online, get the download, and they don't have your information. Now, later on, if you want to try their product or what have you, you can go back to them, but you're in control of your email address. The same thing with burner.io. Burner.io is actually a Chrome plugin. I know some of you are allowed to use them, some can use them at home. This can also work at home. Oh, wait, does anybody have a life outside the office? If you do, so burner.io sits in all the registration boxes. So when I go to burner.io, or when I go to a site and it says, give me your email, there's a little icon, and I push on that icon, it automatically gives me a tailored email address that I can check it online, or I can have it forward to my email. So I can still get it in my regular email if I want to try it out, but there's a buffer between me and my personal email and the company. I make marketers cry all around the world. Speaking of that, my newsletter, if you want to join it, is text the word nerd to 66866. I'm just saying, it's a good one. Text the word nerd to 66866. Text the word nerd to 66866. I thought this was the most appropriate time to bring that up. All right. What percentage of women, this is from a travel survey from the Mower Agency, they do little travel surveys. What percentage of women in that report have considered personal safety when planning a trip? They're making a trip, plans for vacation or what have you, and they're thinking about their personal safety, about where they're going, when they're getting in, that kind of thing. Is it 30, 50, 80%, or all of them? Who said 30%? 50? 80? I was like, what is that noise? And I realized it's me. It's still me. And all of them. Who says all of them? All right, the answer, card masters, is C, 80%. I think I'm going to look up a different statistic, because this is what the survey says, but every time I do it in the room, the women all look around and say, I don't do that. If I want to go somewhere, I just go somewhere. So this could be wrong, but it's my game. So 80% of women. This next tool is a personal safety tool. You need it or someone you love needs it. It's called Noonlight. Very simple tool. With Noonlight, you put your thumb on a button if you're feeling uncomfortable. Let's say you're the last person in the office. Somebody is walking around like I used to work. I used to have an office, and some random people would show up in my office with like kids' toys to sell, like weird stuff. And you're like, you're the last one there, you're feeling uncomfortable with the person who walks in, you're talking to them, hey, yeah, okay. You just put your thumb on this button. When you take your thumb off that button, you have 10 seconds to put in a code. If you don't put in a code, the police are notified of your location and your information. I have been, a nerd just got her wings. Aw. I've never had to really use this, but I'm so grateful that at my fingertips on the road and when I'm in different places, I have that capability. In addition to that, anybody taking care of somebody or a caregiver for somebody who maybe lives alone or you're worried about sometimes, you can now hook it up with Alexa. So my mother-in-law, who refuses to wear one of those I've fallen and I can't get up things, if she falls and can't get up, she can say, Alexa, tell Noonlight I need help. And it will be summoned to her house very quickly. You had to summon it to hook up the Alexa, and within seconds, they were texting me, Beth, you set off the alarm, are you okay? And if I hadn't answered, they would have notified somebody, just like that.
Does it work with Google?
Does it work with Google? How so? Google.
You can do Alexa, but can you do it with?
Oh, Google Home? Maybe. I don't know. But you can always use it on your phone. So I'm not sure if it's hooked up with Google Home, but they're growing. They were first made by college students for college students, and they have grown like crazy. I think they cost $30 a year. I am happy to pay it because this gives me peace of mind. All right, you ready? Brace yourself for the next slide. Lock your phone and hand it to someone in this room. Now, I know this makes you uncomfortable. I can tell you're feeling a little weird. This is not something you've ever been asked to do, and I know it's making you uncomfortable. Lock your phone. Make it so that somebody might have just found it or something. Just turn it off, and give it to someone. Exchange it with someone. Go. You did it, or you're just not going to do it? I'm not sure. I'm not reading your face. If you're not going to do it, that's okay, but don't tell me because I'll think you're really mean. All right. So you have a phone. Here's the scenario. You have fallen and you can't get up. You are unconscious. Now, I know you work at medical practices. There might be somebody around who can help you at that point. But let's say you are not at work, you have fallen, you are unconscious. The first thing, somebody comes upon your body, and that person sees your phone. So that person first calls 911 on his or her phone, and then reaches to your phone to see if they can help you. Okay? So here's the phone you have. Hold it up. Should be kind of black. There we go. Now, punch around on the screen. See if you can get into the phone without, if it's unlocked. Does anybody hold up your hand if you have a phone that is unlocked when you pick it up? Okay. Oh, dude, the videographer. Okay, if you're holding a phone that is unlocked when you pick it up and you can get straight into it, take your finger, point it at the person whose phone you have, and say, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you, videographer. You have to lock your phone. You have to lock your phone. That is one of the essential security things. So let's say the rest of you have either a code or biometrics to get into your phone, right? So the next thing that's going to happen if you try to get into it is you're going to get the number dial, right, to put in a code. Okay, down at the bottom of the number dial, you see the word emergency. Hit that button. It's not going to call right away. Hit that button. On the next screen, does it say medical ID anywhere? Raise your hand if somewhere on that phone it says medical ID on the phone you have.
Well, mine says emergency information.
Emergency information, medical ID, something like that. All right, now take that hand, point it to the person, and you say, you just made it so I can save your life. All the rest of you, you know what that means, right? So, with the emergency call, with the emergency info, you first check the lock screen. Then you can also, Google just cracked down on this. You're still dead. There's no information there. For Google, they just locked this down a little bit. But with Apple, this is kind of fun to do. Hey, Siri. Whose phone is this?
I believe this iPhone belongs to Badass.
My phone calls me badass. It just did that by itself. I didn't program it. It just knows. So you can, if you have an Apple phone, you can sometimes ask that. We don't have time for it here, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to promise me you are going to go back to the office, and again, you guys get this. Go back to the office and bring everybody into a room and say, we are going to set up our emergency contact information. And here's where it is. On Apple, it's in the Health app. You set up the information in the Health app. You can also become a donor in the Health app. In Android, it's various places. You might have to download an ICE in case of emergency tool, or sometimes it's in settings, users, emergency contact information. Just Google your type of phone to find out how to set it up there. But whatever you do, make sure you've got that information in there. Any allergies, emergency contacts, this is for your own good, and this is for the good of the people in your office and your family members. So, promise you'll do that? Yep. All right, cool. I've already lost my little thing. Oh yeah, give her phone back. Yes?
If I could ask a question, is there an app, I know that doctors have an app that if you use your cell phone, you can set it up so that when the receiver, when they see your phone, they don't see your cell phone, but they see like your office number. But you have to have, like you have to be a doctor, you have to put in your license number. Do you know, is there anything like that for administrators that, because I work in Kensington and St. Louis both, and there's sometimes when I'm at home, I like to be able to call a patient back, but I don't want to call on my cell phone because I have my cell phone.
Yes.
I was curious, is there anything like that that would show my office number instead?
I would investigate Google Voice for you. Google Voice is a number that is not a number. It's not a phone service, but it'll give you a number. You can program everything into there. Anybody behind with your group? Because a dude just walked in. He may make the difference. He's like, what's happening? With Google Voice, it creates a number, and you can program everything into that number. So it rings to one number, and then you're not going to get your cell phone being distributed. So you've got that backwards. Block ID, you can also do block ID, which is maybe simpler and better answer. I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to give you a book for that. I hope your team doesn't win, because then you have too many books. That was a great answer.
We both said it at the same time.
Here, just divide it in half. It's good on both ends. And by the way, the book is like everything that I want to be able to tell you guys. There are 450 apps in here, but I don't have time for. And AAOE bought some for you guys as giveaways. So it's not me selling, because they'll drag you out. That's what the thing says. If y'all... And I'm like, they'll stop the meeting and drag you out. And I said, but you gave me these to give away. So it's not advertising. Don't even look at my name on there. Don't find me. All right. The Digital Identity Guidelines of the National Institute of Standards and Technology from the U.S. Department of Commerce releases a report that gives vendors the guidelines for working with the U.S. government and all the things they have to do digitally to be safe enough to connect to the U.S. government, right? So they had a surprising change recently in their last version. What was their surprising change? They came up with the best password advice for keeping it safe, according to the government, is change every 30 days, choose complex passwords, and by that I mean like change the exclamation point for a 1, vice, all that kind of stuff. Create long passwords, or all of the above. Okay, who says change every 30 days? Choose complex passwords. Create long passwords, all of the above. All right, I said it was a surprising change. It is create long passwords. Create long passwords. And everybody's like, what? That's not the advice we have. The advice we have is to change every 30 days, choose complex passwords, and create long passwords. It's all of those, right? It's not. Because the government knows, as well as Microsoft, because they just made this change, that we're no good at changing our password every 30 days. We do dog's name May 2019, dog's name June 2019. Don't we? We have that pattern, and it's pretty easy to figure out. The best one I ever heard, though, was a guy who put a monthly goal as his password. So every time he had to put in his password, it reiterated his monthly goal or his monthly mantra. But everybody else sucks, right? Choose complex passwords, like changing an L with an exclamation point, or a 1, or an S with a $sign. So smart, except everybody does the same thing. So when the password hacker people go in there, and it's all software. There's nobody like thinking about it. They just put it in and get the lowest hanging fruit, right? And part of the lowest hanging fruit is the passwords with the exclamation point, change for the 1, change for the L. They're all the same. The guy who came up with those rules regrets it because they're bad. The only thing that is really effective now is to create long passwords. The longer, the better. I had one password, and it's not my password anymore, but it was, they say 2000 party over, oops, out of time. Ridiculous, right? But I could write it in seconds. And the longer it is, the more astronomically hard it is for guys to change it, right? For guys to guess it. It's just astronomically harder. All right. I am going to ask, I call it data collection, but it's not really data collection. I'm going to give away a book to the first person with a piece of paper that you carry around with you. You got to hold up the piece of paper in the air, on which you have written usernames and passwords. Somebody has the notebook. There's the notebook. No, it's not. It can't be on your phone. It's a piece of paper in your purse or in your wallet. Somebody has it? Nobody has it. Nobody has it. Or nobody will admit it. It's a picture of your paper. That totally could I see that picture?
Right there.
Oh.
3 pages.
Oh, that is beautiful too. That's almost like what boys carry. Could I just see that for a
No.
second? Oh, it's okay. I'm a professional.
Yeah, no.
I'm a professional. It's all
Actually,
right.
I even encrypted it so I don't have it all on there.
It's okay. I just wanted to meet your family members. No, you win a book.
Thank you.
And again, study manual. No, and what's your name?
Sherry.
Sherry was first with me this morning, so Sherry and you were second, so I love all you guys. So Sherry seems like that's a bad idea, but she actually has, number one, a coding system, so you can't even read it very well. And number two, you wouldn't be able to figure it out immediately. And number two, she has a unique password for every site she visits. Let's go with that story. All right. A unique password for every site she visits. Guys, if I get one point across to you, and we have 2 minutes to do it, if I get one point across to you, understand that you have to have a unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit. Supposedly, passwords are going to go away. Supposedly, we're going to have different systems, but I guarantee for at least the next 5 years, we're going to have to deal with passwords, and you're not dealing with them well. Many of you are using and reusing the same passwords. There's a sexploitation scam going around right now, and it'll scare you to death because it seems real. Because you have used the same username and password, somebody has gotten that in a data dump. They will write you and they'll say, don't even try to argue with me. I have your password. This is what it is. I have been watching you while you have watched porn, and I have recorded video of you watching porn, and I will send that to your friends and family if you do not pay me money. A Mormon woman wrote to me and said, this happened. What? It didn't happen. I'm not that. And it's scary as heck. It happened to me. I saw, and I was like, my password, that's my old password. What is happening? And then I realized all they have are my username and password. All they have are my email and password. And so they're exploiting this, and people are paying millions of dollars. Yes?
During the holidays, one of our doctors was shopping for his wife for the office computer, and it was the weekend around Christmas, and when we came into work on that following day, we had a crypto hack demanding money to release our files and get us back in.
Yes, ransomware and that kind of thing. It happens so quickly. They're in, it's bad. So if you do nothing else, make sure you have that. I just did, and I didn't put it in your folder yet, I probably should. I just did a really good infographic, if I may say so. And tomorrow I'm going to do things that show you how to make infographics and all kinds of stuff, so I hope you come to that session too. But I did an infographic that helps you talk to your parents about the scams that are out there and about the problems that are out there, because you are aware of the bad things, but are your parents? They're not getting bombarded if they're retired with this information, and they're falling for stuff to the tune of millions of dollars in fraud a year. And so I put together this infographic to help you come up with some different scenarios. All right, so we have almost no time. This is the one I use. It's LastPass. It will let you set up a password system, and you set up one password behind which all other passwords will sit. It'll automatically fill them in. If you're using your browser to do this, because your browser will ask you, it's not a good thing. It's not secure like password management is. All right, I know we're running over a couple of minutes, but find out who has the most cards. Who has the most cards? Add them up. Just add them up. Everybody gets to keep the cards they won. Add them up for your whole group. All right. Card masters, stand up if your group has at least 10 cards for your whole group. Total, like All of you should know, okay, 3 cards? 9, all right. How many? 9. Who has 9? All right. 2 groups have 9. Anybody have more than 9? All right. I don't like conflict, so both groups win a book. All right. So I have a big finish. And I'll tell you how to do this tomorrow.
On Derby, time is through, but Betsy is always here for you.
Ta-da! All right, I told you you have the, oh, it's not on here. I was so worried. No, yes, it is. It's right there. I was so worried that, like, about selling, but it's not selling. nerdybff.com/AAOE. 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 That's where all the PowerPoints are from all 3 of my sessions, plus another handout, plus some other stuff in there. So please write that down. Again, text the word nerd to 66866. How many of you think you might come to one of my other sessions? All right, cool. Come to the one this afternoon to get some real thinking done. Come to the one tomorrow for marketing, kind of reward for your group. And I thank you guys very, very much. Thank you. If you've won something, come on up. Oh, wait, do this thing. Do this thing. Check-in code and wait for the code. Checkout code is this.
I'm sure I get a book for that.
You do. You totally do. Thank you for doing that. I even put on there, remind me.